Guys, I say this all the time, and the reason why I say this all the time is because it's imperative, especially as you embark on your journey, and that is the fact that self accountability is one of the main traits that you must possess. And if you don't possess this trait, it's something that you have to cultivate as time progresses. Self accountability is so important. Sorting your life out as a man is so important. I get comments and I get people in my life all the time say, Ken, why don't you have a girlfriend? Why are you not in a relationship? And the answer is very simple, because I need to get to a stage in my life where I am completely and utterly independent in my own life in terms of every facet and every aspect of my life, whether that's spiritually, whether that's emotionally, whether that's financially. I have to ensure that in every aspect of my life, I am completely dependent, even my happiness. It's not codependent, it's not dependent on another individual. I'm not relying on entertainment. I need to get to a level, I need to aspire to a level, even though I'm well on my way. I need to reach that pinnacle before I can even consider those other variables and factors. And that is the main reason. As a man, especially as a young man, your main priority is A, taking self accountability for the current predicament that you're in, but two, is aiming for and aspiring to become completely independent. Don't rely on your partner financially, don't rely on your parents financially. I always encourage people, the earlier you leave the home, in most cases, in some cases it's different, but in most cases, the earlier you leave the home, the more conducive it's going to be going forwards. I'm not talking about the tangibles. Of course, you can save more money living with parents. What I'm talking about is the intangibles. It's that maturity, it's the mentality that you cultivate that you simply cannot have and possess when you're living with parents. It's those intangibles that I'm speaking about. It's being completely reliant on yourself, being completely independent. It's why I'm not a massive fan in investing in sports teams and watching your team every weekend and being so invested emotionally, because what ends up happening, and this is something that I experience, is let's say you're into NFL or Premier League in England, or you're into basketball, NBA, rugby, whatever it may be, right? And you have a specific team that you follow, no problem at all. I have a team that I support. But I used to be so invested, whereby if my team, Chelsea, in the Premier League in England, if we lost on a Saturday or Sunday on a match day, it would influence my emotions so much that my happiness, that my satisfaction, my enjoyment was tied in, was so heavily reliant on groups of men, on something that's completely out of my control, that would seek to influence and that would dictate my emotions. I was so reliant, I was so dependent, and that is where the immaturity comes in. That is where you have to develop as a man. And if you're in that state as an example, because there's other aspects and variables we can speak about, if you're in that state as an example, you have to snap out of it. Relationships cannot be a priority because there is so much inner work that you must do as a man, that you must undertake. There's so much work that you have to do on a physical level, on a spiritual level, in terms of shadow working, in terms of financial level, if you're relying on your wife or your missus, or you're relying on parents or siblings financially. You need to get these variables in order. It's like what I say all the time about self accountability. I hear excuses all the time. Oh, I'm not in shape because I have a girlfriend and we live together, and every Friday night we get takeaway because every time I come from work the takeaway is already there. It's not good enough. Gentlemen, that's not good enough. It's not a good enough excuse. It's just not good enough. You have to take self accountability. I always say this. Selfish men will always succeed. And the reason why I say selfish men succeed is because when you're selfless and you're not selfish, you have to prioritize other people. You have to allocate resources and finances to other people. And more importantly, you're allocating sufficient energy and time that can be used for yourself with laser beam focus into your business, into your craft, that's very much needed in your early and younger years. Now, I always say selfish men succeed, especially when you're young. If you're in your teens, if you're in your early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, and you're not in a relationship, this is a time to prioritize yourself, because one day you're going to be married. One day you will have children. And whether you like it or not, you cannot be selfish, because you have to prioritize your children. Your children will always come first. Your missus will always come before you. You won't have an opportunity to succeed. This is the chance. This is the chance to take the risk. This is the opportunity to be selfish, because you won't have another chance. This is a time to take self accountability, understand the predicament you're in, realize it's simply not good enough for the position you are in, and this is the only finite time you have to be selfish, to be economically prosperous, to ensure that you're independent in every single aspect and variable possible, this is the time, because your life can turn around like that in a positive and negative way. As men, this is your time to be selfish. This is the time to take self-accountability. This is the time to sort your life out, because you won't have enough opportunity. Forget about the past. The past is gone. We can't change that. I've said that numerous times. The future will give you anxiety, of course. Prep for the future, plan for 6 months, think long term, of course, but don't dwell too much on the future. Focus on what you have, present moment, what you have right here, right now. The future, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. What can you do today? What is the next best move on the chessboard? That is the critical point that I'm portraying to you in this video right now. What can you do right now? What are the steps you can take right now? What are the incremental steps you can take right now? Are you in shape? If the answer is no, what are the hurdles in place? Why are you not in shape? Ask that question to yourself. Is it because you're not motivated? Is it because you're lazy? Is it because your habits in terms of your diet is simply piss poor and abysmal? Evaluate and self-reflect. Introspection is so key. Financially, are you making the money that you desire? Are you struggling to pay bills on time? Are you able to save money? Are you able to accrue the assets that you need to be accruing to set your life up? If the answer is no, why? Ask yourself, why? These deep questions are so critical. Again, ask yourself these questions in areas where you are not independent. You're 25 years old, you're living with parents. Why? Why are you still living with parents at the age of 25? Do you have a plan in place? Do you have a goal in place? These are the questions you have to ask yourself without distractions, without people asking you, telling you it's fine, it's okay. No, it's not okay. You need to be harsh with yourself. It's the only way you're going to get better. That is a reality. The harsher you are, the better you'll be in the long term. That is just a reality. If you do what's hard, your life will be easy. If you do what's easy, your life will be hard. It's really and truly that simple. And if you take the right steps in now and you put the right steps in place, then there is no doubt in my mind that you will be prosperous and successful going forward in 3, 5, 10 years' time. That is just the reality. That is the truth of it. But this is the time to be selfish. This is the time to sort your life out, because if you don't sort it out now, not only will no one sort it out for you, if you don't sort it out now, you will be that guy in 10 years full of regret, wishing that you can change the past. Don't be that guy. Don't live that existence in a state of despair and misery on the continuous state. So smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, leave me your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below if you disagree. Happy to debate that as well. Leave me your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below, and I'll see all of you guys for my next video. Peace.